Hello and welcome, all friends and devotees of yoga and Buddhism, Buddhist reflection and reflections and meditation. This is our reflection session. Today is Tuesday, the 18th of June 2019. And I would very much like to continue with our lectures, our class on the wisdom of the great master of Buddhism, our most venerable master Singyun. For those who might have accidentally run into my website, for those who have just come to the website to visit for the first time, took some interest in it, for all who are newcomers to this website, Master Singyun is the foremost teacher of Buddhism in our time, the most distinguished master of Buddhism today, together with Dalai Lama, great personalities like Dalai Lama. So these are the foremost. Master Singyun started the great foundation for Guangshan. And that foundation, you can imagine, they've done tremendous work all over the world. Master Singyun, of course, is the first Buddhist authority who had the interest of teaching Buddhism to Africans. And therefore, he started a very huge Buddhist foundation in Africa, in Bronkhorstpoort, Johannesburg, South Africa. He established the Nanhua Buddhist Foundation, Nanhua Temple, and the ABS, the African Buddhist Seminary, granting degrees, to Africans, teaching Africans, Chinese, and Buddhism. Fantastic seminary in South Africa. Graduating the first set of African Buddhist monks, and fantastic. It's a fantastic work, nuns and so on. So this is the work of Master Singyun. He decided to transmit Buddhism all over the world, not excluding Africa. So Africa is included. And here am I now teaching Buddhism, because I've been able to learn Buddhism. I didn't learn Buddhism in Nigeria. When I was in Nigeria, I was exposed to Christianity and Islam. I learned Buddhism in the United States. So Master Singyun is the greatest Buddhist teacher of our times. I'm just going to run through his teachings, his wisdom. Attaining health and longevity. When discussing the subject of health, we often tend to think only of physical health. But just because a person is not presently experiencing a physical ailment, such as a headache or a stomachache, it does not necessarily mean that he or she is healthy. Right? How then can we strive for good health and longevity? There are 4 key points for attaining each goal. For good health, please pay attention to the following. Advices Master Singyun. 1. Health in our bodies. This, of course, is the most important requirement. 2. Health in our minds. Our minds harbor a variety of illnesses: desire, hatred, envy, arrogance, and perversion. When we rid ourselves of all these illnesses of the mind, we attain mental health. Some approaches to attaining good mental health include practicing kindness, compassion, joy, equanimity, discipline, meditation, and wisdom. 3. Health in our careers. We must not engage in illegal business. Murder and burglary are unlawful. even fortune telling and divining are not in accordance with Buddhist teachings. Our careers will be healthy only if we engage in lawful and just business practices. Lawful and just business practices. 4. Health in our beliefs. Do not believe in evil. It can ruin our lives. Evil will never make us healthy. Once we have attained good health, we can seek to extend the meaning and impact of our lives. Thus, longevity refers not only to physically living for 80 or 120 years. It has broader meanings. 1. Longevity through education. When our words can be passed on to others and people are thereby educated. When our words can be passed on to others and people are thereby educated, we have achieved longevity. 2. Longevity through work. Longevity is accomplished when we are attentive and persistent in performing our work. When we are attentive and persistent in performing our work. 3. Longevity through virtue. We should benefit mankind and society and let the gifts of our virtues last for many years. When we help to pave a road, people can walk on it for hundreds of years. When we facilitate the construction of a bridge, people can use it for a long time. This is attaining longevity through virtue. 4. These are the golden keys. For those who are new, I call these the golden keys, or Master Sing Yung's golden treasures. And he normally dishes them out to us, hands them over to us in fours most of the time. Okay, these are the golden treasures of Master Sing Yung. So 4, longevity through the embodiment of the teachings. Embodying the teachings allows our spiritual life to live forever and the teachings to be permanent. After all, human beings have a limited lifespan. Only the spiritual life is limitless. Only the spiritual life is limitless. This is the true longevity of life. For good health, we should maintain the following. Okay, Master Sing Yung does what the Buddha always does. Master Sing Yung, of course, is a Buddha, lives in our time. So, starting from Gautama Siddhartha, the Buddha always has this great deed, if you want to put it that way, or great idea of summarizing his teachings into putting it in a nutshell, to help you to be able to concentrate on what he is actually instructing. You see, when we speak in many words, we want to put these things in a concise form so that students can get it. I hope you have your pens and your papers and you are writing. Okay, as advanced students, you know when to write. So always have that pen and paper ready and try to jot down points. Any interesting thing or important thing you hear me saying, try to quickly commit it in writing, because our minds are weak, our brains are weak. You want to be able to remember. That's why we write, so that you can remember later on. This was what we wrote down. It's important, and then reflect and meditate upon these things. Okay, so Master Sing Yung always summarizes, okay, so that we can have a concise, vivid image or imagery of what he's talking about in our minds. You don't want to forget. What's the point of learning wisdom if you're going to be forgetful? You want to remember what has been instructed, and reflect and meditate on these teachings. Okay, so it's being summarized now. Have your pen and your paper, try to jot down points. For good health, we should maintain the following. 1, health in our bodies. 2, health in our minds. 3, health in our careers. 4, health in our beliefs. To understand, those are the first 4, okay, golden treasures from Venerable Master Singyu. And then to have true longevity, we should strive for the following. Again, 4. 1, longevity through education. 2, longevity through work. 3, longevity through virtue. And 4, finally, longevity through the embodiment of the teachings. Once you have them jotted down in your books, now you can go and reflect and meditate on these profound ideas, profound teachings, and you should be able to digest them thereafter. A word is enough for the wise. Namo Amitofo.